Okay, so today I wanted to kind of expand on the previous video I made, which was talking about Legends of Demons and Gods and kind of the what I'm calling the mercantile progression, which is basically a series of it's progressing the character and audience through the story with successfully gaining wealth or items or production, which then allows you to gain more wealth, items, and production, and then so forth and continue on. The reason why I kind of want to differentiate this is it's a little bit different from like the strength progression or something. This is akin to Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece, basically. And some of these where you kind of see that the character, it is very much a muscular thing that they're trying to go after to get basically more and more stronger in order to do this. And draw my little hands there. I don't really know how. Let's see, we could draw a person here too. There we go. Perfect. Basically, so where it's a little bit different from what I'd seen previously, which is usually the strength progression, where it's just kind of we're fighting to get stronger, to fight the next guy, to fight the next guy, to fight the next guy. And then I would also include One Punch Man in there, even though this is a satire, but basically it kind of follows the same idea, and it's kind of playing on the trope, basically. So what we're going to do now is basically kind of talk about what Legends of Demons and Gods does really well, and kind of what surprised me about it, because I didn't expect it to be very good. I didn't honestly thought I was going to quit watching it or quit reading it pretty quickly, but it turns out it's actually the guy did pretty well. And basically this one is taking a story that really has no right to be as good as it is, in that sense, because he's not doing anything, literarily significant or unique or anything. What he's doing is kind of building a satisfaction chain, and then when it pays off, it's really good. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So basically what we're going to do is, we talked about in the last video, is today we're going to write our own story. So I kind of took a few minutes before starting this to blueprint out what I wanted to do. So with any story, what I'm going to do is the way I'm going to at least draw, because again, we're just doing a rough draft. And basically what we're going to do the rough draft is I'm going to do what I call like three tiers, basically. So 3-tier, this is one tier. And basically what this means is we have the character, this is where he starts, and this is the goal he's working towards. And this acts as kind of, you could think of this like an arc or a story, something along that. And then we got the next one. And up here. And up here. The reason why we're doing this is because basically, even though it seems like in the second one, we're starting at the bottom again, because again, our character is down here, but that's what you have to do in order to continue the sense of progression. There is this idea, just my lights a little bit. There we go. You have this idea of once you defeat the strongest guy in the village, you've got to go and fight the strongest guy in the town, and then you've got to fight the strongest guy in the city, and then you're going to fight the strongest guy in the country, and then you're going to fight this nation or something. And basically this is the progression. You're going from here to here to here to here. This is something that Dragon Ball Z kind of ran into a little bit notoriously, when they kept having to upgrade and basically go, okay, now we got to find the strongest guy in the solar system, with Frieza, and then we got to find the strongest guy. It starts off with these really strong guys in the area. You got the Red Army, General what's-his-face in the Red Army when Goku's fighting when he's young, and then we got the tournaments, and it keeps going, and then we have to go to space. We got aliens, and it's great, and it works, but the reason why is because this progression keeps running into, and he doesn't want to run out of never wants to retrograde, basically. You don't want to go back from fighting this guy to fighting this guy. And if you do that, again, what I'm saying when I say you can't do it, what it basically just means is you can't do it in the same way you would do something else, which is obvious, but basically you have to supplement it. So if you're going to go back and go from the city to the strongest guy in the village, you'd have to basically do something to make us care about the village again. You have to say, okay, so it turns out this is the real bad guy who's pulling the strings all along, in which case you have to make them more fearsome and more dangerous and everything like that than they were before. So we're going to do 3 tiers from here, and what I had decided was I just watched The Wolf of Wall Street, so we're going to do this story is going to be based in the real world. So let's see. Real world from there. And so we got the real world. This is going to be kind of our setting, and maybe we'll add some little bit extra to it. What I call the conflict resolution. Basically, this is when two characters hate each other. What do? So this could be they duel with pistols because they're Western cowboys. They could be fighting with ninja swords because they're ninjas. This could be they're playing sports because they're both sportsmen. It could be playing baseball more specifically because could be because they're boxing. Could be because they're cooking. You have all these different ways of conflict resolution and fighting this. And what we're going to do is we're going to do stocks / money from there. Basically, this is going to be our conflict resolution. And that's how they're going to do it. They're going to do money manipulation, investment, kind of all this thing right here. This is how we're going to try and write a story about conflict resolution from here. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to have, I'm kind of in the mood for strong main characters. So we're going to have a strong main character here. What a weaker main character would look like is it would probably make this a lot more of a thriller, basically. So this is much more, it'll seem easier, basically, if you have a stronger main character versus this one. I remember this one, I didn't read all of it, but his Lies of Locke Lamora or something would be this guy right here, where it becomes much more of a thriller, basically, because you really don't know if the main character is going to succeed. And so the tension is he going to succeed, basically. Let's see. Whereas this one is kind of a bit more enjoying watching a trained professional act and succeed from there. So we're going to go with this one. Again, there's nothing wrong with going with this, and there's nothing to say that these two have to be played in the same way. This is just tends to be what people do. And what people tend to do is easier because there's established way to make it good, but it's not the only thing you have to do. It just means you need to know if you're going to break the rules, you need to know why, and you need to know how to make it good. That's the only rule. The only rule that really matters in storytelling is make it good. That's all that matters. So what we're going to do, and what I need to do now, is I need to define my arcs, basically, and kind of notate them out. So we'll also have a goal, and basically each of these goals are going to link into each other, more or less. So they're all going to be kind of somehow connected in some way. So this connects to this, and we're building towards, this constant state of progression. We're constantly building up in terms of rising action, in terms of climax, in terms of everything, basically. And all these stories in here could kind of go in their own sort of angle in terms of this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And they can all kind of act independent of each other. But the idea is that you're continually moving upward, village, town, city, country, nation, world, solar system 2, basically go on from there and there and there and there and there. So we're going to do this. So basically we need a goal. I'm not really going to go too much into character because kind of what I'm going to do is just do plot. In terms of that, we're just doing plotting. We're not really doing a whole lot of stuff to do with characters. So basically what I decided on going for was we are going to go with revenge, which is a great motivator. Everybody loves revenge stories. So what happens is our main character here, MC, and this could be male, woman, old, young, anything like that. I was going with a typical shonen one, so we're going with a young teenage boy. But you could do whatever you want. Basically, there's a freedom that comes with storytelling. Again, the only rule is make it good. MC's father, let's see, is ruined. He was an investment banker or a businessman. Maybe he's a businessman. Let's go with businessman. He's a businessman. And he was ruined by the villain, basically. We're going to call this villain. And this could evolve out of it. This could start off as evil co-investments. This could be it. And then we figure out it's, the senior evil man who's actually the one behind it. This is what the villain could be. It could also be a individual person. So evil guy, we'll call him evil guy, and it'll be parent what I'm going to call him, level 1. Okay, and then it turns out we defeat him, and then it turns out that he is actually working for You guessed it. Evil guy, level 2. And so forth, or something like that, basically. Or evil guy 2 has enacted a evil plan that now must be stopped. And you have to go then work on the fight the evil plan and stand against it and all this stuff. So basically we have a bunch of different options that we can work with and kind of go in direction. But either way, this is the simple version. He ruined his businessman and he committed suicide. Yeah, let's make it dark and tragic, super tragic. So that's what we're going for, because again, we want a story. This is the reasons why, you know, superheroes, what happens to their parents, always dying tragically, because it works great for stories. Killing parents is one of the easiest way to create a main character that people like, which is the reason why all these main characters running around. Literally, you think if you took stories for demographic read, you think that everyone is an orphan, basically, or something, or had abusive parents or something like that, yada yada yada, from there. So we're going with revenge. The way we're going to resolve this is going to be with investments or stock. So this is going to be pretty vague, and we want it vague because we want to be able to go different actions. So this is give money to the right person. So this is all about people. So finding someone who you can really invest in, you know, someone who's genius. You know, we got this genius guy who's going to make a lot of money, but if only his investments pulls out at the last minute and our main character steps in at the right moment. It could be a bit more of prediction. We're going to predict disasters or something along that lines. So we're going to be predicting that the market does this. You know, this is what the Casino Royale was doing, predicting disaster and betting on this and that and the other. We got a few different options. So we kind of established this. The other thing we're going to do, which we're not really going to do, is we need to kind of set up a romance. There's going to be a romance options for this. And we can go a few different options. We can go kind of a Romeo and Juliet option where she works for evil investments, but she's a great person. There you go. Or she is a rivalry. It's kind of a romance rivalry, where she is also an investor for prestigious. I don't know how to spell prestigious. I think that's like, right? And prestigious investments. Fancy. But she works for prestigious investments, and so he has to work up and be worthy of her. There's that one. It could also be that what else? What other options do we have? She's dying of a disease. You know, he's got to save her, basically save her from the dragon. So she's dying from disease. So he's got to make a crap ton of money and yada 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 in order to save her. These are all of our romance options, or it could be none of these, or something else. But I'm just giving you guys some examples of this is how we can do this. Because basically, what we want when we start the story off is where we're going to have our main character here, and he's going to be working towards his goal, and we're going to be working in, you know, the romance is going to be like doing this, and then we're going to have some other aspect, our mercantile thing, which is doing this, and then this is the conflict of the goal, and all of these are working in tandem for helping our main character, of course, succeed in the conflict against the villain, you know, to defeat the villain. So we're going to start off with arc 1. What does this look like? We're going to start off small. Again, we're going off this village, town, country, city, country, nation. So basically from here, we're going to go with the street. Let's call it this. So street, basically what we've got is we've got a real estate guy. Real estate. We're going to call him evil real estate guy, who's trying to run off businesses, basically. And again, I'm going to go super basic on these because you could see how detailed you want to get in terms of writing this outline. But I kind of want to give everyone the idea that these are how I write out the blueprints from it, and then you build on this, make it more detailed, build on this, make it more detailed. Or you start off with the characters and then work your way into this and kind of realize, hey, I kind of need to introduce some aspect like this. So what we're going to be doing then is running off businesses to resell, basically. Resell, a la, you know, something out of Scooby-Doo. You know, they're creating a monster, basically. Well, it's always about real estate, which in today's market, you know, who can blame them? So he's trying to resell this, and This is what the conflict is. He's destroying local businesses in order to resell, devalue their property so then he can resell it. How is he doing this? He's doing this a number of different ways. It could be mafia gangs. It could be rumors of disease, disaster, poor quality, something like that. This sucks as prime real estate. It could be zoning. It could be, local city corruption and zoning. It could be a few different things. It could be all of them. Basically, maybe he tries 3 different ones. Usually that's what it is, because you want to have, if you immediately defeat your villain, the audience knows that your villain was never that tough to begin with. So let's start with zoning, and then we're going to go with rumors, and then we're going to go with mafia guys. So basically they're going to try and zone this place as residential or something. And the main character, who again, he's our strong main character, he's going to be smart, and he's going to use his knowledge basically from here. And again, I don't want to go too deep because I could go really in depth in this, and that's kind of what I want. I don't really want to go do that, at least not in this video. So basically what we're doing though is, again, not to lose focus, is mercantile progression basically. So we're going to gather kind of like a Knights of the Round Table, but of production and stuff. So basically what it is we're going to fight this evil guy, and this is a real estate guy. So it's just a real estate guy, and we're constantly working towards our long-term goal. Again, this out here kind of acts as a long-term goal. We're always headed here, even while working through here. We're going this way continually, up, 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 and up. So from here, we're going to add, of course, some romance elements from here. Maybe maybe she works for evil real estate guys. She just has a bad habit of working for the villain, basically. I think that'd be funny. I think that'd be pretty good. So let's do it. And kind of also works in our possible aspect where it's rivalry. Maybe she works for these evil people because they're, rich and they can pay her, and she's really good at her job. That really makes sense. So we got a romance aspect. And basically, though, what we're doing is at the end of this is our main character is going to have in his pocket local businesses that he's helping. So basically we're going to go with the magic number 3. So we got 3 tiers, 3 different tiers, 3 arcs. We're going to go with this. So we're going to have 3 businesses that now owe him. And again, these are our ones, if we're looking at this like our Settlers of Catan pieces, we're collecting settlements basically. These are people / items / things that will continue to give benefit basically over and over again. And this is what we're working towards. It kind of creates like I said before, a Knights of the Round Table of production and stuff, which you might think, what does the audience care about stuff? The audience loves collecting stuff. Do not get me wrong. Audience loves collecting stuff. Like, the audience is cheering every time you get the Sword of Magnanimousness, which then gives you +7 to this, which allows you to do that, basically. So long as that is really cool, the audience is super pumped about getting the Sword of Magnanimousness. So basically he tries to rezone these businesses, and basically we can see this through the eyes of 3 different businesses. So we're going to do a pho restaurant because I really want a pho restaurant. We're going to do a vet, and then we're going to do a shop, basically. Something like that. Maybe, again, I'm just making stuff up. It could be 1, it could be all 3, it could be 7, it could be a whole street, it could be, somebody's house, something like that. But basically he's going to save all of these, and in result, again, through our conflict resolution, is money. We invest in all these people, and therefore then these people owe us. So now what we get in terms of the mercantile aspect is we get free food. We're getting free food and revenue, because maybe we invest in this and we get money out of it. We get, free, we get a pet. We get a free pet. We get a dog or a cat or a bird. Free cat. We also get help. Basically, they promise to help us out. We get a shop. Basically, we get somewhere to sell. We're able now to sell wares in this shop. Maybe it's like a flea market shop. And we also invest, so we get revenue. So this means every week we're setting this up, remember, to build on production. Every now and then, because of course in the beginning we're starting off, and this part I didn't really establish, but we're starting off poor. So we got to figure out how to get enough money. Maybe we work enough to make our first investment, which then pays off and slingshots into our second investment, which then pays off and slingshots into our third investment. And now we've got these 3 people saved. So that is, and of course we defeat the evil real estate guy, because then the deal falls through, and we make a bet we basically make a bet that it will fail. Basically, make a bet, investment bet. I don't know what is it, shorting shares. I believe that's what it is. Make a bet, aka shorting shares in order to make even more money. Okay, so there's that. So that's arc 1. So we defeat the evil real estate agent, and then we move on to arc 2. So what we're going to do in arc 2 is we're going to do something different. So we've had this established. This whole arc has now been established. So the next one needs to be different in some way. Otherwise, you can't have it continually do the same thing. If you have something really good, you can do the same thing a number of times, but eventually you have to shift. So this time we're going to shift. So what we're going to do is, I like the inventor idea. So we're going to find the inventor. Where basically we're coming on and we're finding a inventor, where basically he's got a new idea, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to help and guide this guy to fruition, basically to success. And basically we're going to be fighting against we're going to be fighting against, we'll call him rival inventor. And rival inventor, surprise, surprise, is backed by none other than Evil Co. Investments. And they're trying to ruin the inventor because they're working for rival inventor. So basically the way this is going to play out is where rival inventor, he's going to not have anything, and our character gets to play the cool guy who's going to show up and invest in him. And basically we're going to do this. We're going to have some success. Basically we're going to have a mini success. You know, we're moving, maybe the idea work, maybe it's a water filtration system, maybe it's biodegradable diapers that are super cheap. It could be literally anything. Could be a fan, could be a computer program, could be could be whatever you want it to be. But again, we do want to keep it something like this, because if it's like a nuclear fission reactor that revolutionizes the world energy sources, then you need to figure out a way to go, hey, we got to beat this. So you want to keep something, or beat this in terms of the next step has to be the super world nuclear fission reactor or something like that. You don't really want to shoot all your guns off at the same time. So you want to build up to this. This happens, the villains are going to strike back, and something's going to fall through. The main character is going to come through, and they're going to fight again, and they're going to fight back. And basically this is the struggle. So we're going to have an idea, we're going to try and do it, we're going to fail. We're going to enter it in a science fair. We're going to try and get funding this way. That succeeds. And then we get to the next round of funding, but then we have to figure out and get into production. We have to go from, fame. We have to have people believe in the idea to go into production. And then from production, we have to go to sales. And basically each of these is going to be a form of conflict. We're continually moving upward, and these continually get pushed down. Eventually the guy's idea takes off, and we start making, ching, you guessed it, money. Not only that, we've got the inventor. So again, this Knights of the Round Table of production, Knights of the Round Table of characters. We've got all these people who now owe us. Now we've got a genius inventor. So now what we're going to be doing, and maybe for fame, we're going to call upon the Fuzz Shop, who is going to make soup to promote our product. We've got a shop that nobody else is willing to sell our invention, but hey, we've got a shop that we can sell wares through it. So basically what it does is this proves to the audience, hey, we're continually building off of these production things. Again, Settlers of Catan, we're gathering settlements, gathering cities, we're gathering resources, 2 sheep for 1 wheat, I'll make that deal because I have so much money, so you can get whatever you want. This is kind of the next thing. So this is arc 2. We're going to call, let's see, arc 2, and then we've kind of got arc 1. Arc 1 up here, arc 2 over there, and now we've got to come up with arc 3. All right, so where we're going for arc 3 is, again, continually building up, continually building towards, evil investments. And maybe this is the part where we decide, listen, how long is this story going to be? Do we really want to defeat the guy now? And it's like, well, maybe we want to push it off. So maybe he escapes and then goes to Evil Corporation 2. Or maybe there's another foreign evil investment corporation, international, that we're fighting. There could be, maybe after this, you avenge your father and then your mother dies, and then the insurance company denies your claim, and then bam, you know, you get taken out that way. So it's like there's a few different ways, and basically what that would do is that would continue the story along, basically. So there's a new villain. We gotta fight the new villain, you know, or after Orochimaru, it's, you know, Kabuto, yeah, something like that, where it's like the next guy, and kind of moving on from there, and that works. So we've got arc 3. Arc 3 is a little bit one where, let's say we open up our own store. Let's do something different. We open up our own store. We call it main character store. Or we can open up our own investment firm. Let's do that. I watched Wolf of Wall Street, so let's see. We know roughly how to do that, so we got this. We know how to do this. We're opening up our own legit, less, you know, slightly different from Wolf of Wall Street. But we're going to open up our own investment place, where basically we're taking all of the things that we know, teaching it to other people so they can go and invest. So basically what we're doing is we started off with a street, or geographical location of a street. And so now we've got, you know, guy 1, guy 2, guy 3. And basically each of these are going to their own street. And investing in this, so now we can do 3 times this. And basically what we're doing is revolutionize. We're, you know, be super grassroots. We're investing in local chains. We're giving people money in order to open their own investment, and helping advise and guide them. So we're helping people, we're gaining stuff, all of this like that. Maybe we help our fuzz shop. We're going to start franchising. We're expanding out. Maybe we got our shop. Maybe it needs to move to a new store because it's doing so well. So now it's opening up its own department store, kind of like this. And these are all opportunities to fail, of course. And this is where it happens, where basically then Evil Corporation has a new plan for each of these, and maybe they just want to crush the old investment place. Evil Investments. And basically what they're doing is they're fighting us on each front. And basically on each front, then we're going to be fighting against them in terms of we're trying to succeed. We're trying to open a noodle shop. Well, maybe they fund the other rival noodle shop who's also evil or something like that. Because again, you want your guys to succeed when you want the audience to root for them. And usually the way being a nice guy or being a good person is usually an easy way to do that. You can kind of set up this conflict where it's not just 2 people against each other and we don't really care who wins. It's the evil guy who's also evil and kicks puppies versus the other guy who saves puppies. You know, this is the conflict we want to do, is basically we want to sell us as the good, and we got good versus evil. Yeah, there's one moment where I realized this, where it was blatantly obvious, it was the heist movie, The Inside Man, The Italian Job. In the beginning of that movie, when they're running away from the bad guys, you can tell the good guys, because the good guys don't hit anything with their jet ski or car, and the bad guys kill people, destroy carts of, you know, cabbage dealers. Like they just start destroying. But again, they're establishing this good versus evil, because like the good guys, when they drive their getaway cars, they don't kill innocent people. The bad guys, they do that all the time. So Investment Co, or Evil Co Investments kind of gives us this idea. So, and basically with conflict, again, I'm really rushing through this, but you can kind of see each individual section. Basically, this is the fuzz shop. So they're going to fight about this. This one is, we're trying to buy this property in order to turn it. We're trying to do this. It gets vandalized. You know, you could honestly reuse the same tactics from here. We got mafias, rumors, zoning. All of this is happening. But basically what happens after a while is then we use this. We continue to gain money all the while. And we can use this then. And we are now going to buy Evil Co shares. And MC becomes a board member. Actually, no, he appoints one of his buddies to be a board member, but either way, that's fine. A board member, and he appoints, maybe he has a, 1 or 2 people. Maybe he realizes that there's good people on this board, but they're outvoted, but he gets maybe 1 or 2 board members, and then he gets to appoint them, and then now he controls the company. Bam. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. And there you go. And then that's the plot. This is a really, I think you guys can tell, this is honestly, this could work. This could really work as a story. We've got characters. It's pretty generic and all of that, but I think you can see it really has all the bones that we need for it and everything like that. So I think that all covers it. And basically from there, and then we can have the romance play out in some way, or we can continue it. You can resolve this, or he gets the girl in the end, or it resolves this, or it kind of moves on to the next arc. We're going to call it arc 4, something like that. And you can see kind of how that goes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned something, and I'll see y'all in the next one.